She was having a dinner alone, until the CEO's mother whispered, "Pretend you're my son's fiancée." She had chosen the quietest corner of the restaurant, the kind of place where soft golden lights blurred the edges of loneliness and the clinking of glasses created a gentle shield from the world. Sitting alone at a table meant for two, she tried to convince herself that solitude was a choice, not a reminder. The city outside buzzed with couples, laughter, and purpose, while inside, she folded her hands neatly beside the plate and breathed through the familiar ache of being unseen. She had no idea that this ordinary dinner, meant only to survive another long day, was about to become the turning point of her life. Before the story goes any further, if you believe in kindness, unexpected grace, and the power of second chances, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this exist because people still believe that small acts can change lives. She had arrived early, not because she was eager, but because going home to her small apartment felt heavier than sitting among strangers. The restaurant was elegant but not intimidating, filled with people who belonged to a world she had brushed against but never truly entered. She wore a simple dress, clean and modest, carefully chosen to blend in rather than stand out. Years of learning how to disappear had taught her that being unnoticed was safer. Her life had been shaped by quiet resilience, by surviving layoffs, broken promises, and the slow erosion of dreams that once felt possible. As she waited for her meal, she noticed the subtle shifts in the room. Heads turning. A ripple of attention. Without realizing why, she straightened slightly in her chair. That was when she saw them. A refined older woman with silver hair pulled into an elegant knot, and beside her, a man whose presence seemed to command the space without effort. He was composed, impeccably dressed, with the calm confidence of someone used to being watched. The staff moved differently around him, more attentive, more careful. She did not know his name, but she recognized power when she saw it. He was someone important. Someone far removed from her quiet, invisible life. She returned her attention to her plate, determined not to stare. Important people passed through her world all the time without noticing her. That was how it always went. But then something unexpected happened. The older woman paused as she passed by, her eyes lingering with curiosity, then something deeper. Recognition, perhaps, or intuition. She leaned closer, as if drawn by an unspoken understanding. In a moment that felt surreal, the woman bent slightly toward her, close enough that the scent of perfume and warmth of presence filled the space, and whispered something that made her breath catch. She was asked, without warning or explanation, to pretend to be her son's fiancée. The world seemed to tilt. Her first instinct was to pull away, to refuse, to retreat into the safety of anonymity. She had built her life on not being seen, not being chosen. Yet there was something in the woman's eyes that stopped her. It was not manipulation or arrogance, but urgency mixed with vulnerability. The kind of look worn by someone trying desperately to protect what little family they had left. In that instant, she felt an unfamiliar pull, a quiet courage rising where fear usually lived. She nodded before doubt could take over. Suddenly, she was no longer just a woman eating alone. She was being introduced, guided, included. Chairs were moved, glasses refilled, and she found herself seated at a table where she did not belong, yet was welcomed as if she always had. The man looked at her with surprise at first, then curiosity, and finally something softer. He did not expose the pretense. Instead, he adjusted seamlessly, as though this unexpected twist amused him. His mother watched closely, relief flickering across her face. As the evening unfolded, she became acutely aware of every gesture, every glance. She worried she would say something wrong, reveal herself as an imposter. But there was no interrogation, no cruelty. Only warmth. The mother spoke with pride about her son, about family values, about the importance of kindness in a world obsessed with success. And as she listened, something inside her shifted. She realized how starved she had been for simple human connection, for being included without conditions. The man, the CEO as she would later realize, observed her quietly. He noticed the way she listened more than she spoke, the way she held her fork as if afraid to take up space, the way her eyes softened when his mother laughed. He had spent his life surrounded by people who wanted something from him. But she wanted nothing. That made her different. That made her real. The dinner ended, but the moment did not. What was meant to be a brief act of kindness stretched into something deeper. Over the following days, circumstances brought them together again, not as strangers playing roles, but as people slowly revealing the scars beneath their composure. She learned that his success had come at the cost of trust, that betrayal had taught him to keep his heart guarded. He learned that her strength came from surviving neglect, from building herself back up every time life quietly pushed her aside. The greatest challenge she faced was believing she deserved this new reality. Every compliment felt like a mistake. Every invitation felt temporary. She waited for the moment when the illusion would shatter and she would be returned to her lonely table. But instead, doors opened. Not because of wealth or status, but because someone finally saw her worth and refused to let her disappear again. His mother remained a quiet anchor, offering gentle encouragement without pressure. She had not asked her to pretend out of convenience alone. She had seen something in her that night. A goodness unspoiled by bitterness. A woman who would not harm her son's heart. And slowly, the pretense faded, replaced by something honest. Love did not arrive with fireworks or dramatic confessions. It grew in silence, in shared understanding, in the safety of being known. She learned to speak without apologizing. He learned to listen without suspicion. Together, they found balance between two worlds that once seemed impossible to bridge. Just before the ending of this story, take a moment to comment below. Share where you're watching from or simply write, kindness still exists, if you believe moments like this can happen in real life. The night she once spent alone became a memory she returned to often, not with sadness, but gratitude. It reminded her that life could change in an instant, that courage sometimes looked like saying yes when fear screamed no. She was no longer the woman hiding in corners. She had become someone who belonged, not because she pretended, but because she chose to believe she was enough. And if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that unexpected kindness can rewrite a life, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive, and your engagement tells us that hearts are still open in a world that desperately needs them.